Did you know skydiving is based on writing? In this presentation, I will prove that skydiving is a discourse community using evidence from Carrie Dirk, Daniel Chandler, and other authors. It is argued that skydiving is a discourse community based on practice, where the community of people only come together to do the action. Bizzle analyzes the relationship between discourse communities and the concept of speech communities and how it's a community bound together primarily by its use of language. A distinction between this community and many is the language that is used to describe the sport and actions of the participants, which Swales states that it is conceptualized as a speech community. This is also supported by Dirk, as he describes how special vocabulary, grammar, and style are established from the illustrations that develop. But where does this speech come from? And how do members, even novice members, know the language? Well, thanks to the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, and the USPA, United States Parachute Association, people all over can become a part of the community by outsourcing the foundation of skydiving. There are different ways that USPA communicates with skydivers, such as emails, letters, and their magazine Parachutists. The image in this slide is an example of what an email from the USPA would look like. As you can see, it is not like your traditional email that you would send your professor or a colleague. They use different formatting for the topic that they want to cover, like the title for the new basic safety requirement, which is the main topic for this email. The text that is enclosed in the purple box explains that the USPA Board of Directors wants to remind wingsuiters that other skydivers that if they want to work together, there are safety precautions. The Parachutist magazine is the main form of intercommunication from skydiver to skydiver. When you apply for your USPA membership, you get a subscription to the Skydiving magazine. Within the magazine are public forums where many letters from people are published, new safety concerns, gear inquiries, information, and, unfortunately, the death reports. But how do they give skydivers all this information? Well, the USPA requires all members to have what is called a SIM, Skydiver's Information Manual. The book is what skydiving is based on, including everything to know about standard gear, airplanes, and, of course, safety. But how does this make a skydiving a discourse community, you may ask? Well, you have to be a member of the USPA before you can make your first sport jump. And you also must complete and pass a written test that is based off the SIM. Here is the part of the SIM that states that it is required to complete a written test before becoming a recognizable skydiver. Above is an image from a forum within the Parachutist magazine written by a skydiver that addresses a safety concern that can happen to anyone in the sky. It goes back to refer to the Skydiver's Information Manual on what to do during the malfunction. Dirk states in his article that genre have the power to hurt or help human interaction. And this form is the example of analyzing both points of views on this topic. All genre matter because they shape our everyday lives. There are many genres within the sim, depending on the rhetorical situation of the section you are seeking. The sim is the user manual that shapes the skydivers today. Many announcements are meant to be lighthearted, catchy, and somewhat whimsical, just like Justice mentions. Characteristics reveal the purpose of the communication. Death reports are a sensitive subject that must be published for public records that can be found in the USPA-issued magazine, Parachutist. Death report states the facts of the person's name, age, and where they died, as well as the gear they were using. After the person and the gear they were using is stated, then the FAA's investigation states what led up to the accident and the cause of death. Specific lexuses make up a lot of what makes skydiving a community discourse. Unlike you were a part of the community, you wouldn't understand what an RSL was, static line is, BFR, big effing round, FJC, first jump course, etc. These lexuses are terminology throughout the learning process that specialize to efficiently communicate with others within the community that could be what Swales described as puzzling to outsiders. There are many levels of membership within the community, starting with novice, who are usually the people that are starting their FJC and working their way up to their first solo, and working their way up to their A license. Another way to distinguish novice and advanced levels of membership within the discourse community is the amount of knowledge the person knows from the sim. They could apply what they read, and if they do, certain circumstances are predictable, and the knowledge to fly can make them unbelievable. I hope this presentation put a new outlook on skydiving being a discourse community, since it is text-based.